Welcome back to another episode of Becoming Her. This one's deeply personal because it was during the ages of 22 to 24 that I experienced some of my highest highs and lowest lows. And it was during these years that I truly began to understand what trauma does to the mind, body, and spirit, and what it means to reclaim your power. These years were the years that were beautiful and tragic. In that short window of time, I lost my grandmother, my brother, and then the love of my life. His name was Deontay. He passed away in June 2018, and his presence changed my life. And I'm not being dramatic, he really did change my life. He wasn't just a partner, he was a mirror. A rare love that reminded me I was worthy of being poured into, not just giving endlessly. He encouraged me, he supported me, and saw me clearer than I saw myself at the time. He taught me how to simply be loved. And when he passed, a part of me did too. But let's rewind it a bit. Right before meeting Deontay, I had already been grieving. My brother and grandmother passed, and I watched people around me change, including my parents. But instead of being met with community or compassion, my family just survived. No one was really checking on us, consoled us, or helped us put the pieces back together. So I kept living and loving and moving forward. And there's a thing of like people would ask my mom questions, but asking the family, how's the family, and individually seeing how we were doing is a totally different concept. No one celebrates or honors them like I do. Like birthdays. Now, my mom may have her personal way of, celebrating, but like as a family or just, loved ones getting together to celebrate people who passed on, no one celebrates them or honors them like I do. Or maybe they just don't do it with me, but from my understanding, they don't. And it's actually one big reason I chose to live my life purpose over dysfunction, as well as the memories of my grandma being tired, weak, and planning her last times with us. Wondering her last times were spent with me. And I will never forget those moments of her being really weak. And I always think about, or I always thought about how everyone was so shocked except for me. Ironically, she passed away a week before my birthday. And a day after my dad. They have been my strength on my life journey and will always be. Every time I accomplish something, they are actually the first people I think about. And that's crazy, right? Not somebody that's alive, but people that's passed over. But it is what it is. And that's how I actually found Deontay, or maybe how love found me. He and his mother were two of the most loving people I have ever encountered when it comes to relationships. They didn't need my trauma story to treat me like a human being. They just loved me. It started with him, or maybe because he loved me, she loved me too. But I think she had a good soul, like a really beautiful soul. He had a son, and together we were like a little family, like a small family. Yes, another family built from love. I think I realized the patterns like as I got older that love really does keep things a while. I guess the love, like it really does keep things together, like genuine love. Because the experience that I had with his son was very unforgettable, and that was my first time truly experiencing something with kids, like a relationship with a kid that was outside of my family. I was young, full of life, and still figuring it all out. That season taught me what it meant to be loved without condition. No fixing, no performance, just being. And when I lost him, something in me cracked open. The grief was deep, but so was the healing that followed. To this day, he's the one that helped me not settle along with the passing of my father. Their absence showed me what I truly need in my life. I don't settle for struggle love, toxicity, or being forced into a masculine role just because I'm independent. And I'm going to say that again. I don't settle for struggle love, toxicity, or being forced into a masculine role just because I am independent and self sufficient. When I met men, especially within this past year, more so when I moved to Texas, because Chicago I was treated very well, but when I moved to Texas, I always have to remind myself, my money, my love, and my essence are for me and my future husband. It's so funny when you stay silent or When you choose not to share certain things, that leaves room for a lot of assumptions. And that's what I've been getting a lot of within this past couple of years. More so, like I said, when I moved to Texas. So if people want to ever know what my experience has been like as far as like men, that more so like just it's been different now compared to Chicago. And it's not for temporary situations or emotional imbalance. I learned from both of them that when you are genuinely loved, you get everything, the care, the time, and the protection. I learned my dad, he was just too naive and invested in his own life and wife to consistently love me how I would like. And that was something I had to accept, and I'm not hurt about, but I did accept that at a young age. I didn't figure that out until I got closer to 30, though, but I always had the idea. And plus, me and my mom were opposites. We loved different, thought different, and had different life experiences. So like my mom seeing my dad as a good friend and just taking what I can get um, became a norm for me. When I look back, we had our own personal relationship based off of our history and seeing each other very clearly. And I think that was like an understanding between both of us. My mom used to say we was too much alike, but I believe when it comes to like us bickering or just having differences, but he grew. He was like me. He was always into growth and worked hard. And I'm saying he like me. I was more obviously like him, but working hard, consistent growth, and just just valuing similar things in life, or just like to be great. I feel like he was battling two different types of love. Love from survival, what that was more so my mom and his family, and love that was healing. The that was like more so the love he would get from his daughters. When I speak on them, I don't speak to bash or shame them. I do want people who can relate or have these karmic entanglement to know that it is not always you. It's okay to forgive and let go and enjoy the good times if you had some. I'm a detail person, so of course I remember every little thing, every little detail about my past or just the relationship I had with certain people. These years were also filled with friendships that shaped me. One of my closest friends at the time was just like me, a Sagittarius sun, full of life, boldness, and adventure. And when I always speak in my 20s, this is the friend that I really be boasting about, or just really be talking about what made my 20s great. She wasn't the only friend, but she was the top friend. We were young bosses in our mind, and all ego, no rules. We traveled, dreamed big, struggled through family drama, and lived freely. That friendship eventually ended, but I still pray for her. I always want people that I loved and shared a lot of history with to win as well. I knew that she was just she was very goal oriented like me, and we was always about making money and just being us. So I always wish her the best, or at least pray that she's doing well. There was also someone I considered a brother, son, and best friend, all in one. We went through so much together, including jealousy and chaos in our family. And that's really the biggest thing that kept us apart. I always hope that one day he will realize that, or when he decides to awaken or not be stubborn and realize, like, I always had his back, but I always had my own issues that I was going through. But with the jealousy and the drama, I understand. Even though we don't talk these days, I have a soft spot for our connection that we share, because no matter what, I remember the love, the laughs, and memories, and the times when he was there for me, and the times I was there for him. And he may try to deny everything, but he knew that I was there. From 19 to 24, I also worked with two different therapists. One of them helped me with anger management, and both were incredibly compassionate. But I remember how even after I shared my life story, my family dynamics, my grief, they never really had the answers. They listened, but their advice was always hinted in the same direction. Get away. One therapist encouraged me to go off to college. Another asked me if I was becoming suicidal. She told me I cried so much because I carried so much pain. And it's so crazy because these past couple years, I cried a lot. And I watched a lot of people just not be compassionate or just wanting me to stay strong, not even knowing that I've been crying for so long, or just being strong or holding on for so long. And these past couple of years is actually the years when I actually started opening up and telling people things. And it's so funny because when you finally do speak up, or it's been a while and you finally do speak up, you see how people treat you, or you just really see like why it was best to stay quiet and just continue to plan your life, or just move forward, or just put God first and let the universe handle it out. My mom always brushed it off saying I was just too sensitive, or but it isn't that but isn't that usually how it appears when your story is untold and your truth is hidden inside your family? To this day, I wonder why I was so scared to go fully out on my own. Like, I always would have one foot in and one foot out, and that's how I ended up creating that double life. But between either integrating or just fully letting go, I always wondered why. I didn't, and I think it's because deep down inside, I didn't want to fully accept my parents and certain family members and how they were, good and bad. I hoped I would eventually receive that ideal love or relationship from them, the whole family dynamic. Because I've been around so many people's families and parents and all, different types of things. So that's how I guess I was able to still be full of love. I think surrounding myself with love outside of family, whether it was through friends, partners, or mentors, raised my expectations, especially as I got older, or just like in my mid 20s. It showed me how I could be loved. But nearing 30, I had to accept that what I desired wasn't everyone's reality. That longing was my way of trying to control the outcome. Now, here's where the shift really began. Around 24, going on 25, I met another partner. And while that relationship gave me comfort and bonding, it was also toxic. Not in a dramatic way, because I hate when I tell this story to people or just mention it and they just take it the wrong way. But I learned what happens when people take things the wrong way. They just want to pick a narrative and do what they want with it. But it wasn't in a dramatic way, but in a spiritually misaligned way. And it made me realize I had chosen it from a place of pain. I remember telling myself often, I'm not used to this type of love, or how did I get here? Because the dynamic was nothing of what I had in my past. I had never fully processed Deontay's death, my brother Darius, or my grandma. And in many ways, I picked this new relationship to fill the silence they left behind, the love that I could no longer give or receive. Now, I rarely talk about my love life for two reasons. Based off observation, haters, and wrong assumption. I remember I confided in a few people about my relationships and feelings towards relationships with my past relationships and just healing within this past year. And just hearing their responses on moving on, or at least handling it, disgusted me. Just the facial expressions, the response, and just the little to no care. It really did disgust me. It put me into that mindset. I said I would never bring up anything about my life again, unless it was with my life partner or genuine friends. Just how it always had been. I had to learn over time or just learn like really these past couple of years, that pain doesn't get erased through distraction. It demands to be felt. So I surrendered on my own. I stopped running. I started rebuilding my relationship with God. I began rewiring my mind, literally. I started studying how the brain holds on to pain, how the body keeps score, and how trauma rewires our ability to trust, love, and feel safe. I started back reading books about love. Imagine, and my biggest imagination, or one of my biggest, what do you call it? One of my biggest dreams was being a psychologist with an office and I'm having a beautiful family of my own with a husband who will feel very lucky. Not in the sense of me being a provider or, the man of the house or anything, but I always see my husband, I have something, he has something too. But more so, if we're in my world, we talking about me being supported. But yeah, he would be super lucky to have me. I realized something powerful though. You don't have to collapse just because you're hurting. You don't have to isolate or punish yourself for grieving. You can allow pain to make you softer, wiser, and more grounded without losing yourself. My parents were still trying to process their grief in their own way. My mom and I had a complicated relationship, especially after her mom passed. I remember being there for her like it was second nature. But even then, love often felt controlling still, not free. Eventually, we went no contact, and even in the silence, I still found myself loving her from afar because that's just who I am. Of course, going to carry the love, move with love. And of course, it's because I know her, know her to the core. So no matter what, I'm like, I always gonna have love for her, and she's gonna always be on my heart, even if I speak on her. Now, years later, I understand it with all more grace. I was always trying to hold the family together, understand people's pain, and find peace within dysfunction. But now I know love doesn't mean carrying everything. It means setting yourself free. During this season, I began realizing my power didn't come from being needed or being strong. It came from clarity, boundaries, and surrender. I stopped fighting for love that hurt. I stopped expecting people to heal me. I stopped waiting for permission to grow. That is when the true transformation began. I was awakening even more. I'm like, so far in every episode, I probably went through at least what 5 lives so far. And even though I was still navigating grief, I started becoming myself again. This is what healing looks like. Not perfection, not endless sadness, but power reclaimed from within. If you're in this season too, grieving, shifting, rediscovering, I want you to know this and never forget. You're not alone, and this is not the end. This is the becoming. And here's the thing I learned through it all. You can hold deep pain without becoming bitter. You can lose people, moments, and parts of yourself and still rise. The hardest part about trauma isn't just what happened, it's what it tried to convince you about yourself. That you're not alone, that no one will understand, that you have to carry it all to be strong. But every time life knocked me down or grief made me question my path, I chose to believe in something greater. I chose to stay positive. I chose logic over panic. I chose to keep learning and growing. Most of all, I accepted guidance, even when I didn't even know where it would lead. Of course, being a visionary and having trust issues, I would feel it through, think it out. But trusting God was a big thing that I had to really surrender to. And when it comes to people, I call those hidden angels, mentors, conversations, divine timing. The right message always found me when I wasn't, when I was still enough to receive it. When I actually decided to trust the universe and let them figure out my path or my problem. If you're navigating pain right now, please remember it doesn't have to harden you and it doesn't have to live in you forever. It can transform you. The power you're looking for isn't in controlling the outcome, it's in trusting the process. It's setting those intentions and trusting the process. Grief and joy can exist in the same chapter, and you're allowed to keep becoming, even when you're healing. This is how you return to you. Thank you for witnessing this part of my story. Like, comment, and subscribe so my videos can spread through the algorithm. If you watched every video so far, I love you, and God bless you. Share them to someone it can help, especially to my people who feel no one understands or can relate. We are healing together. Use the link in my description box to buy me a coffee. Subscribe to the Empowered Mindset audio library. It will help ease your mind. And follow me on Instagram where I post about ways I can coach you. Continue to grow and let the negativity go. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video if it resonated with you or if you enjoyed watching it. Next episode, we will talk more about my relationship and finally choosing myself, some more of my darkest moments and how it led to breakthroughs. I will see you in the next episode. Like this video, subscribe, or leave a comment. Bye.